Welcome back to another devlog. Today I'm discussing my work on my latest game of No Name Yet. It has been a long time since an update, but I have been setting up the foundations of core mechanics for the game, and I'm happy to announce that they are now ready. I first have new textures on everything. I'm using Unreal's starter content and getting a much more accurate idea of what I want to go for. Plus, it just looks badass, and I could not help myself to get a little carried away with it with the Fallout 4 inspired texture work. Also, the further systems got, the more that it stood out that I needed something more for architecture and rooms. So, shout out to Reanimation and his newest project, Cyberrats. I'm using his dungeon generation tutorials to make my dungeon, and the polish he put between more unique rooms than halls put together looks amazing, and I really did find his channel at the perfect time for that game's announcements. So go show some love to him and Cyberrats for real. It's looking fantastic, and he's a great content creator. World building and modeling will be the next major focus for the next devlog. This video is to just show the systems now implemented and proof of concept, plus an idea of what is to come. This is the first version of interaction implemented. Thanks to Ali on YouTube and his great tutorials and teachings. With his tutorials I was able to implement an inventory, and this is showing the interaction between the player and the world with a radius pickup range starting off, and then later on I redefine it to be more specific, and you'll see that later in the video. I have the temporary player model with all the animations from the first devlog, and this is something I want to continue doing because I just like how it looks. I enjoy the personal touch, and it's great practice to do things like create custom blend spaces, and like you can see now the interaction between the player and the world. I just like having the personal touch on that, and I know it looks rough. I know everything on here looks rough, the UVs and animations, but it's part of the game making process that I enjoy, where I get to see the systems work, whether it's rough or like polished. I can see that it's going to work, and that is something I've enjoyed doing with all the animations and everything I've kept from the first devlog. And you'll see later on, and very soon, I have also worked on and changed. So there will be another iteration of the player and these systems later on, but I will get to that then. For now, massive thanks to Ali and his just the way he words and teaches everything on his channel. Breaks it down. Anybody new to this engine can completely follow it and definitely take some advice from him and his teachings. The storage system is in debate on being mobile somehow. I was thinking maybe you could have a cart that you craft after going out and gathering resources, and then coming back to the hub area where your storage box is, and this is in the works. It's going to be worked on, but for now I think that just having it in the center where you spawn is where it's going to stay for right now. However, I want to have a more nomadic play style. Instead of a typical base survival game, you could have a mobile hub where your camp would be, and you could take it between dungeons. This is going to be worked on and defined and possibly scrapped, but for now that's the direction I was thinking I wanted to go. I'm just gonna start running. Oh my god!
Yo!
Isn't that crazy?
Yo, he's on your ass for real.
Oh my god, oh my
Oh
god.
shit!
What the they're watching.
It's like the same speed as you. It's fucking terrifying. It's like it reminds me of Gmod.
I think it's even faster.
Like next bots, bro.
Because like
Dude,
my player's animations based off
like
of
matching your pace perfectly.
He's faster.
Like,
Look, he's like slowing himself down because he's catching up to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna gather my mushrooms. Where are they? Where are the other ones, dude? That's what I'm trying to like.
Yeah, that'd be fucking terrifying. Like
them
a
to all
horde
just
of them.
funnel in. Yeah. What you, the viewer, are about to see is the reaction to said horde of enemies.
Bring back the fucking Quaaludes! You got fucking poppers and meth and weed. Bring back the Quaaludes! I just see like all I picture in my head is a bunch of NPCs all repeating the same dialogue at the same time while chasing you.
Yeah. There's the fact there's no audio in this either. It kind of makes it creepy as
What
fuck.
happens when you hit a chicken in Helgen for the first time, bro?
Literally. Oh my god, that's
That is
so
fucking
cool.
awesome, bro. Not genuinely, all fucking brain rot aside.
It's like BO3. Like training them right now.
They're just so...
What other type of response could you really ask for, honestly? I mean, those are some good friends, I gotta say. I got some clips of some situations you could find yourself in while I was playtesting with the AI. The surrounding of enemies is pretty scary when you get caught in a doorway or corner and you switch to first person. It's cool to see them all gathering around and like mindlessly try to hack at you. And another fun example is the more you train, the more terrifying it becomes. They have a horde of zombies just made of moss with no facial details, just mindlessly running at you. Speaking of facial details, I started to remodel the player and then used the same skin for the enemies. There's a comparison in the first version and the second version. I later added eyes, which I didn't realize were inverted normals at first, so they were just hollow eye sockets, but I kinda liked it. What I also thought looked gnarly was the first import of the new model on the old rig. Absolutely terrifying, but almost fits if I wanted this to be a horror game, which I may have plans in for the future dungeons. Then I started to work on the enemy AI and its animations for sheathing weapons and the state changes. I got the first enemy AI of a more shy and seeks cover enemy, and here you can see the other type that circles around and attacks every now and then, moving between points around the player. All these tutorials that I have been watching and learning from, it's more than just mindlessly following them and getting it to work in your game. It's more about you get to learn practices like how to debug and use perception tools like this, showing the vision and points of interest for the enemy. I then implement the health system and work on adding it to the enemies and a way for the player to attack, which is going to be a very fleshed out system, because I want there to be players, I want that to be where most players have fun, is trying new weapons and fighting new enemies. I implemented this blend space I animated in Blender to allow for focusing in a direction and have proper animation to suit it. But this first actual fight I remember being such a big success, and I felt so great to see it actually work, and it was very, very fun to do. I then followed the tutorials for a magic attack, which I don't intend for the player to keep, but as you can see, I added to some enemies I got from Mixamo as a placeholder for custom models. And it's just so amazing to see a monster and have fights that follow in the dungeon, to see all these systems coming together. Once I started seeing these enemies inside of this dungeon, I was like, it's truly starting to become a game. What else to do now other than work on the next few systems? Or instead redo all the ones I did before completely. I found PyroDev on YouTube and I saw the equipment tutorials he had and I thought, there it is, I'll do this one. Then about 3 minutes into the video, I realized that my whole interaction system from Ali wasn't going to fit with this, and I made the executive decision to restart all systems after seeing that his channel was full of systems that work together. And with that, I found my goal. I had spent the next 2 weeks grinding out the inventory you see. The items got a nice polished glow to them when you look at them with better crosshair. I learned how to set up equipment for my custom model, and lots of work can be done with that now with more modeling and more equipment. The crafting and storage both work great. I now know how to do item data. So it gives me lots and lots of room to actually work on crafting, resource gathering, mechanics like that into the actual kind of loop and gameplay feel. Since now I have all of these systems working, I'm very excited to start working on the 3D models of new dungeon rooms, more enemies, more attacks, better player, the equipment, all the items you can get, start working on new dungeons, and I also will start working on an end to the dungeon, a respawn system, and things like that. So, after having my goal, it was then time to combine the interaction components from before and the dungeon code, and that will totally be an easy task and not make me want to pull my hair out. after lots of debugging and discussion on PyroDev's Discord, I got everything working and looking very nice. I want to take a second and shout out that the Discord and all channels mentioned in this video, without them, students or hobbyists would have to spend so many countless hours doing trial and error, but channels like these really make things possible for people, and they truly do bring an invaluable resource to everyone who wants to make games, no matter what position they're at. I think everybody can take something from videos like this and make something of their own, and that's what it's all about. You know, that's what we all love to see, and I'm extremely happy to have all of this down and working now. And in the next video, I will hopefully be updating y'all with a much different looking game with these same mechanics. And thank you again for watching. All links to mentioned channels will be in the description. I appreciate everybody if they've made it this far in the video, and I wish everyone an amazing rest of their day. Thank you for watching.